Afternoon, you guys. How y'all doing? I'm Fidelis Sanoka II. I am the founder and CEO of the Alkalign Lifestyle. And I'm going to talk to you guys today about something that's pretty powerful. It's on my consciousness to get this out. So I just decided to make this a video devoted solely to love and relationships and why I believe people are losing the battles in relationships because they don't actually understand how relationships truly work. I believe I do understand how relationships truly work, and overcoming challenges and the hard things about relationships. I believe people will learn a lot from it today, and I'm going to give you guys my experience, my personal experience, where I have dealt with it with all my relationships and actually my current one, and how I've navigated my way through the challenges, and how I believe people, if they can change their attitude towards it, they can prosper and be successful together. And it's always better together. I've just learned that. So let me tell you guys a little bit about my story. My story is not foreign, it's mostly common in my opinion. I was born in Lafayette, Louisiana, so I was born in the Deep South, and if you call it Deep South, I was born in Deep South. And my father was not actually present the entire time when I was younger. I did meet him, I believe, the second time around when I was about 4.5 years old. My father's Nigerian, my mom is Creole, and they're wonderful. They're absolutely excellent people. They're divorced. They divorced in 2004, and it was actually because my mom called me and told me to go to my father's house. I was in Phoenix, Arizona at the time, specifically Chandler, Arizona. I was staying at my friend's house in the summertime. I went to my father's house, and I basically stayed for a month, and I told him on the first day, I basically requested that he sign the divorce papers for my mom to be free, because my mom just wanted to be free. She didn't want anything. She didn't want any money, she didn't want any alimony, she just wanted to be free. She said she wasn't being treated the way that she, I guess, expected. And so I said, no problem. And I went and I just asked him, he signed paperwork. And he obliged and he signed it. Now, I don't believe he let everybody know that he was divorced, but he did oblige and he did do what he committed to. So they had their relationship. That's my parents' relationship. It's not anything to do with me and my relationship. How I seen them interact was how they interacted. I didn't agree with a lot of things that they did for each other, to each other, in terms of what I saw. So I only took the things that I saw that were beneficial, and I left the things that I did not believe were beneficial. So fast forward to 2024, and I was married in 2019 to she's actually my ex-wife, but I'm dating her now, and we're gonna be remarried. But let me express to you what transpired within my relationship and why it was such a challenge for me to get to this place that I'm in today, and why I believe everyone can get to this place if they just make a commitment to that. So I've been with my now partner for 11 years. I met her in 2013. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's actually a full plant-based chef. She co-founded this Alkalign Lifestyle with me and all of our companies. We have an entire health and wellness brand, online training practice. We have a clothing brand, mental health clothing brand. We have a personal chefing and catering service, and we have currently our mental wellness center, basically the Alkalign Lifestyle mindset school that you're hearing me right now on this platform. So essentially, she was medicated. She took a lot of medication, bipolar, had a lot of stuff removed, out of her body surgically. She had a lot of things that were going on. What I did not know was all the subconscious things that she had to endure or to deal with whenever we came into a relationship. And people talk about red flags and how you should run from the red flags and things like that. I'm gonna give you a perspective to change how you look at these things, because I want people to understand that everything is a mirror perspective in some way, shape, or form. So you can look at the person across from you. You can look at the person across from you and say that this person is a reflection of me, whether it's me right now, whether it's me in the past, it's still a reflection of you somehow. And once you entangle yourself sexually and then romantically and engage consciously with this person, you marry them chemically. So marriage isn't the paperwork document that you sign. The marriage occurs literally inside of your head. Whenever the CSF, the spinal fluid, comes up from the base of your spine to the top of your head. And then there's a crossing pattern at the medulla oblongata, so at the base of your brain, essentially. Now, whenever you become married chemically to another person, say you entangle yourself with another person sexually, what happens is, it's not like wires crossing, but it's just like you have your thinking masculine energy. They have their, if the partner is a woman, they have their feminine and feeling energy. And then it basically becomes intertwined because you have the vesica, which is the vesica piscis, if you want to call it that. It's, say it's 3 circles, because it's 2 circles and then they mesh into one, and that one now becomes half of one person, half of the other person. So essentially you have half of your energy, okay, entangled with the other person, and then their half is entangled with you. So my lady, she had a lot of trials and tribulations that I was unaware of. I just didn't know them. I didn't have any recollection of what those subconscious programmings were. And everyone has this, okay? So it's not like you just go through the process and you meet the person and they're 100% authentic and then themselves and all. No, you have to go through something that exposes their real self to you. So some trauma, something that happens, something that occurs, right? And then those things that occur are the things that trigger something to come in. So in each category, you'll see whether it's whatever they believe is distant to you, whatever that is. But you have to look at it from the perspective of it's all about beliefs. They grew up with a certain level of belief. You grew up with a certain level of belief. Now, subconscious programming that I perceived, I got to live at my grandmother's place, my mom's mom. I never met my grandfathers because both of them passed away my mom's father passed away before I was born. My father's father, he passed away in 1993. I was 10, but he was at his home in Nigeria. I never been out the country, so I never got to see him. I never even spoken to his mom before, so I've never actually spoken to my grandmother on his side. But my mom's mom, was excellent. They basically took care of me when my mom could not take care of me. And my older sister, who's also excellent. And so essentially I had this wonderful program, subconscious programming. I was in this little country town called Parks, Louisiana, sugarcane fields, all types of stuff, right? Just going on. But my nickname was Mr. Man. Mr. Man. I'm the man. When I walked around, I'm the man. No matter what I can do, no matter if it's good or bad, didn't matter. I'm the man. Let him do what he wants to do. That's what my grandmother was like. Let him do what he wants to do. Wherever I want to go, let him do what he wants to do. In some cases, it's not good to have that. Actually, you don't have any boundaries, but I never had any restraint. I never had any limitation placed inside of my imagination. I was always allowed to imagine, to create, to feel, to flow. Now, on the opposite side, my partner, she was not allowed much privacy. She was not allowed much free reign to use her imagination because she grew up in the Midwestern area, Iowa. Not saying that everyone that goes up in Iowa is like that. I'm not saying that. Everyone that goes up in Minnesota or Wisconsin and Michigan, I'm not saying that. But I'm just talking about specifically her. She told me a story one day about her diary. She said, my mom, I believe, she said, or not my mom, but her mom. Her mom went through her diary when she was younger, and she never was allowed to basically like keep her door closed and things like that. And so it was a little traumatizing for her in a way where she just felt like she didn't have any freedom. Complete opposite of me. I had all the freedom in the world. And if I didn't have if I felt like I had freedom, I'm running out to go get the freedom. That was me. Still me to this day. I'm gonna go find the freedom. You can't hold me from anything because I'm part of the creator. I knew from a really small age that I am part of this whole thing and I am the creator of my own existence. So you can't stop me. She, on the other hand, did not get that program. So subconsciously, as far as insecurities go, that's where I saw the insecurities come out from this person. Now let's talk about, when you get medication, when you get chemical, you start to take things. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, depression, all types of stuff that they're talking about in the medical, grade or hospital or whatever you want to call it, therapists and specialists and such. She had none of these things. She basically just had a really bad diet. Okay, she basically just had a really bad gut. And they just didn't know that. So she didn't get any help for that until she basically met me. She had no recollection of why these things were occurring. So many times when people are diagnosed with all these mental things, the doctors or specialists that they go to don't put two and two together and say that your gut is also having an effect on the mind. And again, I'm not a medical professional. I don't care to be. I don't care to be considered a doctor. It doesn't do anything for me. A healer, I am a healer because I do heal people and I heal their minds and their bodies. But what I'm expressing to you is that you have to be in communion with your own source of information in order to let that do the healing for you. All I do is help you create the environment to do that. So what I did for her was I created the environment within her to help her do that. But what comes out is not great, because what comes out is going to be really, really mean. It's going to be very, very nasty. And what I see is a lot of women aren't very accountable for what they've been putting into their bodies. It's the input that you're putting into your body that's going to display the output on the screen of space, which is your real time when your eyes are open, when you're in beta brainwave state, which is like you're talking to me right now, this beta brainwave state. So what I've seen and what I've noticed, basically through my own relationship with my partner, is that these things happen to people and they never diagnose it correctly. So all the medication that she was taking, all the chemicals that were going in were just creating more and more nutrient deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, and also it was creating hormonal imbalances within this person. So her positive and negative, because everyone has positive and negative, all right? All men and women have positive and negative, masculine and feminine energy. But her positive and negative was completely off. So all the things that she was experiencing through her imagination were off. They were just off. Whether you consider it right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It's off. You have to remain in homeostasis and neutrality to be able to, to navigate your way. So in terms of the relationship, I'm gonna be the person that's seen as the person that's saying you need to change these things. She used to drink wine. Before she met me, she said she smoked. She had, freedom to express and do things in that way because she gave herself the permission to do that type of stuff. But it wasn't always healthy for her well-being. So when she met me, I'm not gonna say the perfect disciplinarian person, but I'm very disciplined, I'm very organized. And I said, listen, I enjoy the person that you are, but not this person. This person has to either go or I have to go. So she attempted suicide at one time, 2013, after she told me this most recently, I think it was last year, about how that night that she attempted that, she was drinking alcohol, which essentially is poisoning. So you have adverse effects whenever you have poison. Now let me tell you just one quick thing about women. Women have a really high pain tolerance. It's a really high pain threshold because they have children. They have to have that. They're given that program by the creator to have that. But what happens in this real time is that they're the ones that are drinking coffee and caffeine and soda, and they're consuming products and antibiotics and things that are damaging their inside. And it's almost like they become addicted to those things, but because they have such a high pain tolerance, they can't sense that they have an addiction. So they take it out on everything else. They take it out on everybody around them. I'm expressing to you that you have got to look within yourself to figure out why these things are occurring. Now, she hadn't had the opportunity to do that because nobody has ever gone to steer her in the right way to do that. So fast forward, she was fine after her suicide attempt, all these things. I actually got up and left. And after I left, I was coaching in Wisconsin at this time. Loved it. There was a college basketball, strength and conditioning coach, a men's assistant, head basketball coach. I loved it. Trained myself because I had this dream and goal of playing professional basketball, which I got to do several times. I had the primary goal of making it to the NBA, but I stopped before that, occurred. But I was still grateful for the entire journey that I went on because I ultimately did not want to do that. And I was grateful I stopped before I got to that place. Me. But what happened with her was that the entire time, these chemical hormonal imbalances are occurring in this person's brain. Their thought process is so off is that they're looking at the person that is telling them that they need to upgrade and change and raise the bar and the standard in their life as an enemy. So the entire time that I'm with this person, I have love for this person, I'm in love with this person, I have love for this person, they hate my guts because I'm the one that's saying you're not good enough at this moment in time. You need to keep on going within. You need to keep on changing. And because I'm the one that's saying you're not good enough at this moment in time, I'm not saying that you're not good enough to live in this world. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that you're not good enough in terms of loving yourself. It's not good enough. You need to give yourself more love. You need to give yourself more care. Because if you don't give yourself the love and care, you can't give it to anybody else, including me. I'm just going to be out with that. So that's not good enough. What you're putting out is not good enough. And I think people have a problem, especially men. I'm coming at the men right now. You have a problem with enabling someone, especially women. Many people have this idea that, because it's a woman, if she hits a man, the man can't hit her back. Or if it's a woman and she curses the man out, the man can't curse her out back. Like, it's almost like a woman's allowed to do whatever they want to do, get away with anything they want to get away with, because nobody is going to hold them accountable. But you have to hold them accountable. It doesn't matter who they are, what they are, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You have got to hold them accountable. So if you don't hold them accountable, they'll walk all over themselves and then you. That's just how I've gone in to see how it works. And I'm just talking through experience of my own relationship. So I essentially was not there. I was traveling a lot to, play basketball, and I was receiving financial help from her. She was excellent in terms of helping me with a plan, financial plan, helping me because I didn't have an agency to get me through my trials and my workouts and traveling and all these things. She was, helping me do it. She cared enough at least to help me to do all these things to help me to move forward. Now, I'm not sure what her intention was by doing it, but I think wholeheartedly she cared that she wanted to help me be able to pursue something and to dream and prosper. When I met her, I had the apartment, car, I had 3 jobs, all these things. I was going to school, I was finishing my associate's degree, junior college, all this stuff. I just because I wanted to do it for my mom, because I just wanted to get some paperwork so she can say I got paperwork. I didn't care anything about college or university or any of that stuff. In my opinion, you don't need that. But where she came from, you needed that. Where she came from, it was blue collar type of thing. You have to go in and work and use your hands, and nothing with imagination really came from where she came out of in her culture. So that was the other thing that I learned subconsciously about this person. It was that when she was brought up financially, it was not the use of your imagination and your own energy. It wasn't the use of a positive mental attitude or anything. It didn't have anything to do with, it had no effect on what you were putting out in screen and space and getting things to come back. She didn't know anything about spirituality, so she didn't really have the recollection that she needed to be able to go to, like the library of information. She didn't have one. I know that. You thinking that they talk about women's intuition, all these simple-minded type of things. And people don't understand that women are not more emotional. Men have emotions too. I just believe they're not taught on how to control their own emotion. And because women aren't taught how to control their emotion, they don't know what they should be doing, what they should be saying, how they should be responding. They're not sure what they're supposed to be doing because they have not had a teaching that can give them the answer. That's all I believe it is. It's not that a woman's more emotional. That I believe people just make that as an excuse. Also, they use that as an excuse to go get the coffees, to go say, well, my period is coming up this week or whatever, and this week I'm gonna be an asshole to everybody. That's not how it's supposed to work. So and that's my opinion. That's my relationship. We don't allow those things to become something normal or use of an excuse. Just because you have that time, you have that time every month. All you gotta do is make a decision not to negotiate a better behavior or attitude with that. So ultimately, this person, and I'm talking about I call her my wife because we're gonna, get married again. She had no idea what love really entailed and the challenges of growth with somebody and making a commitment. Many people I see get into relationships now, and this is just from my own observation, they get into relationships and they don't have a commitment already to make this the best one that they've ever had. They want to make it a pattern because they're lonely, or they want somebody, or they just want somebody to give them a hug or somebody to do something for them. They have not made the agreement within themselves that this is what they need to do, and they're not making the agreement to make their partner, whomever, spouse, girlfriend, boyfriend, you're not making the commitment to make their life easier. So because of that, eventually the want to be in a relationship runs out, and you go find another person to do the same thing with. All I'm saying is, if you don't make the commitment right away that you're going to make this the best experience of your life, it's not going to turn out that way. And that's just wholeheartedly how I feel about anything. If you have a business, if you have children, if you have pets, whatever it is, your life experience, you have got to make a commitment to making it the best thing possible, being so grateful to have it, or you might as well let it go. All you're gonna do is attract the same person that you have been for however long. It's on you. It's not on the person, it's on you. So when I attracted this person the first time, I thought she was excellent. I thought she was great. I'm like, oh, I'm going up. I got goals. This person has goals. She's graduating, from college. She's, all these, it's like, it's excellent. But you don't see the subconscious because it's under the conscious mind. You only see the nice for show display in the window. You don't get to see the actual thing that comes out. And I learned it from the family. So what really I started to understand was the family dynamic. When you go to be in a relationship with somebody, you check their family immediately. And I didn't have that much time or experience to spend with the family, so I just didn't really understand much about it. She has two brothers, both of them talented, very, very creative, excellent. One's married with children, the other one, and I believe he's not married, but he has a partner. I don't know what his situation is. But what I started to understand was that you look at them as mirror images of the parents. So what you check is the parents. To check and see what the parents are, because that's who gave the program to the children. What I saw in my perspective was that she has two talented parents. I mean talented, amazingly talented parents, genius parents, actually. But scared parents, fearful parents, afraid to put their own creativity out into the world, afraid to put their own stamp, leave their own mark on this screen of space, what you call this universe, whatever you want to call it. But they're not courageous enough to be authentically themselves. So what I saw subconsciously was plugged into her was that she's not courageous enough to be authentically herself at every moment in time, point in space, especially around her partner, because I saw her mom not very courageous at all in terms of cannot display her true nature, her true essence of herself. There's like no feminine aspect in her mom at all. It's all dried up, it's all gone. It's just work, work, work. It's just go, go, go. and I see this now out in the screen of space as I'm talking about this, many women, whether they're moms or whether they're just daughters or whatever they are, business owners, whatever they are, they just have this go button that just says go. And they have to be a boss this, and they have to be on time that, and they have to be 100% devoted to something like purposeful that does not actually give them fulfillment. They're literally running in circles for whomever, boss, manager, supervisor, whatever it is, but they're not doing it for themselves. They're giving themselves no self-care. And I see this from her mom. Wonderful lady, wonderful human being. But the one time that my mother, I begged my mom to give her mom a call. I said, what, can you just give her a call? Like, just try it out? She said, okay. She's like, Junior, I'm Fidelis and Uncle the second, so I'm Junior. She said, Junior, I'm gonna give her a call. She calls Drea, which is, you'll see her on this platform all the time, but Drea is my lady, and that's who I'm talking about right now. She calls Drea's mom, and she says, I talked to her for about just over 10 minutes. I didn't do much talking. All she did was, she told me everything that she had, all of her qualifications, all of her like achievements. She didn't really let me give much in, and that was pretty much it. And she said, I don't know, Junior, I think you might have to think about this one because I don't think it's gonna work out. And I was like, okay, got it. Why did she say that? I know 100% why my mom said that, because my mom understands. She's a kindergarten teacher, first of all, my mother. One of the best, I think, in the world. But she basically told me that the program comes from the mom and it's downloaded into the children. So they'll tell you 1,000 times how wonderful they are, this thing, but they'll be so far away from the nature perspective. They don't know how to be authentic. And she basically said that's what Drea was because of her mother. I said, okay, I understood, but I didn't know that as far as subconscious, because it hadn't come out yet. Finally, and we can fast forward to 2019, we get married on my birthday, because I'm back in, we hadn't lived together, we hadn't done anything together, we were always separate till 2018. We got to live together for the first time, which was excellent, in my opinion. It was excellent. I was in Windermere, Florida. I was training for my last year. I was training, basically the last year I was training to play basketball that year in 2019. But I got to live with her. I convinced her to move out. Cellular, I don't know where she was. Scottsdale is a beautiful place, but I was like, I don't want to stay here. Like, so can you, just come with me? We can make like a life of some kind. I get to see it, but I never got to see enough of her at one time to see subconscious programming. So we've always been together at a distance. So at that moment was the moment it started to kind of come out, and I didn't understand why it's like so explosive. This person is getting so like high, like just aggressive, like mean, and want to fight all the time. What are you trying to fight about? First of all, Dre's like 5'2", 130 plus pounds. I'm about 6'2", 190 plus. But I'm sorry, you're not gonna touch me. You ain't gonna hurt me. So I'm not gonna put my hands on you, but even if you hit me, it ain't gonna hurt me. Physically, it won't hurt me. And so I'm telling her, like, just relax. But I don't understand that most people, especially women, when they're growing up, they may have two sides to a spectrum. It may be like a really calm, right, but almost sad existence in your household, or maybe a really explosive and mean and chaotic existence. There's usually not much harmony in people that don't grow up with a lot of love, self-care, and self-love, and high self-esteem. I didn't understand that, because how I grew up, it didn't matter if my father was there present or not, my mom there present or not, I still found a way to achieve self-love. I taught how to garden at a young age, so I understood about gardening, I understood about feeding the soil, I understood that you're standing on your own acre of diamonds. That's what the quote says, you're standing on your own acre of diamonds. So all you gotta do is water your own grass, because the grass is greener where you water it. It's not always greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. So if I just take the time to water myself, I become this wonderful tree with this wonderful fruit that now everybody can eat and consume and they can have. That's how I look at it. Now, she did not grow up with that same teaching, at least in that way, because most of what she told me she mentioned to me that her father is a person that says he'll hold grudges till the day he dies. He'll take it to the grave with him. If anybody says that, for future references, they'll take it to the grave with them, you gotta tell them that that's not the right thing. But it's not for you to change it. You can't change that. You gotta let them go, because they're gonna hold on to something for however long instead of forgiving. So forgiving is a first step to growth. You don't forgive yourself and the person on the outside that you're blaming or shaming or you're accusing of something. If you never can forgive them, you can't start the process of growth or transformation. It doesn't work because you're holding on to the old you and you're never gonna let that go. So that anger, that rage is always gonna be within you the entire time. So, I understood my partner, Dre, I understood to some extent, but I never understood why people become so explosive and so mean because of traumas that happened in their past or what emotions that they hold on to. I understand that. So the fast forward to 2019, we basically, we moved to my mom's place before we actually come to California. So now we're in California, but we moved to my mom's place, stay there, we get to build up some capital, we get to, I'm still training and everything, she's working, but ultimately she's just unhappy, unfulfilled, everything that, it doesn't matter what is done, she's not happy with whatever process is going. And this is where I'm gonna basically bring in the words destiny and destination right now. Your destiny and your destination, to me, are the same thing, because everything travels in circles and it's real time. You have a real time perspective of energy travel. So we have 7 chakras, 7 energy wheels, but there's 9 centers of energy, starting at your ankles. The root just has 3. It all travels in circles. So the end is the beginning is the end. So your destiny is the end. The destination is the beginning. So you set the destination, like you have a cell phone, or a map, or navigation on your vehicle inside your car. Think of yourself as a car. Set the address. Say you're gonna go home. You're at the grocery store. You set the address to home. Okay, that's the destination. Set. That's the beginning. But the destiny is home. You're gonna go home, and you know what home looks like. You've imagined inside your head. You now have the plan to get there. There's the wheel. Because now, from you setting the destination, which was programmed in your navigation system as home, you now have the end at the same time, which is the destiny, which is home, and destination, which is the beginning, which is you programming the address. Most people don't actually go through the process of programming anything. They just walk through life with no address. So they have no destiny. It's based on what you desire. It's based on what you want to be fulfilled. Your job is to go from point A to B, point A to B, point A to B. And it's not where it doesn't become a running tab. It is a running tab because your brain is a record of the past. So you have a record of the past, which is A, B, C, D, E, and you just keep on making these points. But all you have to do is say, if I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, which I was at the time, say that, and I need to travel to California, specifically San Diego, when we moved from 2019. There's a destination and journey that I have to take a highway that's gonna be from here to here. Both my dogs, I gotta get a car, I gotta do this, I have a plan over here. The destiny is gonna be San Diego, California. The destination is gonna say I-40 to I-20, and it's gonna take this much amount of time. That's the destination. Now there may be an accident on the highway. There may be a stoppage. It may say 28 hours. It may push it to 32 hours because of the accident. It may fast forward it an hour because of the construction might stop me, or it may not be there at the time, or maybe a weekend, or the weather may get bad. But it still is gonna be destination. When I was in Atlanta, destiny is gonna be San Diego, California. I'm going to get here because I can see it already. Now listen to how this works in a relationship. You can see a harmonious relationship with your partner, significant other. But if you never actually imagine them inside of it, you and you, and again, you don't have to picture it's not some picture perfect person, or no, the creator picks it for you based upon whom you're being. So it's you, okay? It's just a mirror image of you. And what you're asking for, you're putting in an order for the perfect person to come to you. But you have to put in the order based on you, or the actual order. It's you. So you're saying, I want this person, disciplined, high self-esteem, loyal, right? Honest, transparent, vulnerable, loving, caring, wealthy, wealth mindset, abundant thinking, all this stuff. You're saying all this stuff. But if you're not the actual person, you can't get that person. They cannot come, because you don't actually create the environment for that person to come. So the wheel never spins. You don't have the end or the beginning, because you did not make the commitment to stay on the path of the destination. So it's you. So back to the story. So essentially, Drea decides we move to California in 2019. We get married on my birthday in 2019. And you can call it red flags. I don't believe in red flags. I just believe in expression and exposure and experimentation. I don't believe in transcendence. I don't believe in red flags. You know, if a person's showing you something, then they're showing you a pattern. The pattern may not be expressed unless this thing happens. So you have to look at it as, there are red flags. Yes, they do exist. So I'm not saying that I don't believe that they don't exist. I'm believing that they're not the deciding factor in overcoming a challenge or growth. They're not. She basically quits everything that we start, and we're attempting to start new businesses. But prior, I was like, okay, we should go get land, we should go do this thing. So we get a plot of land in northern Arizona, you know, and then she backs out of it, you know. And I'm like, okay, like maybe this person doesn't understand like assets and wealth. I think she understands, I don't know, you know, but I don't actually know that, you know, because I've never gone to see her family or how they are. We get across to California, I drive her there. And after everything that we've gone through, she's still awesome, she's still amazing. I just want her to be herself, but I can't make this person themselves. I'm just wondering why this person does not have the authenticity to express themselves the way that they should. You know, we go through all of these struggles. I actually go back home to Atlanta, Georgia, and I come back a month later to meet up with her, because we have 2 pit bulls. I have one named Onyx. She has one named Jade. Jade's the oldest, and Onyx is the younger. The half as old as Jade, actually, about half. But they're best friends. They're awesome. So I'm going back, and I'm driving back to go meet her with my best friend. He takes me back up there. So the next month. And so we're just there. We're in California. We're just figuring it out. But the entire time, I'm like, okay, this person has some sort of energy blocks that I don't know. She doesn't know anything about what I know, because I've been studying it. You know, the entire philosophy that I created as far as self-love, detox programs, all these things, I didn't know she just didn't know that because she hadn't been through that. Subconsciously, her habits were different. So fast forward to right now, right? We essentially get divorced 2023. We finalized it last year. Or no, excuse me, this year, finalized it earlier this year. But she requested it 2020. She requested it. And I didn't understand what she was talking about, because I hadn't done anything. But now I started to understand how energy works. I understand completely what she was talking about. She told me a long time ago she wanted to divorce herself from herself. She wanted to cancel out her old self, and she thought if she divorced me in her old life, she gave up everything that she had in her old life, she could now turn to a new life. I understood exactly what she was talking about. And I think many women also would like to have that. Sometimes with the same person. They just don't want to be the same person themselves. They're trying to figure out, how can I leave this old version of me and I can get to the new version of me so I can see him differently. So I can show up differently in my relationship. That's all she was attempting to do. We through 11 years of being together, we weren't actually together where you can say this person is on the same page as me. We're entangled, but we're not together. See, so you can be entangled, you can be in a relationship, but you cannot be together because you're not on the same page. I'm going from Atlanta to San Diego. You're going from Atlanta to Canada or something, or to New York, because that's where your mind is at. But my mind's over here. So where's your mind at? If two people can't agree, then you can't go anywhere. You're gonna have a split. And that's where you get a double-minded man. See? Because you have a double-minded man. But what's that mean? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Well, you created a new man because you had the vesica, the circle, and the circle. So that half of you and that half of her is now a new man. But it has to have an organized mind. If you have a double-minded man, you can't go anywhere together. It's not gonna work. So now your ship is now gonna have the wrong navigation. You're gonna end up not at the dock that you desired to have. You're not gonna have that. So the destiny that you saw or you said that you imagined can never happen. So ultimately, what am I saying? Drea, my partner, she's amazing. She's a wonderful woman. But subconsciously, there were so many things that she hadn't processed, that she hadn't got out, that every now and then they just come up and she just goes off the deep end. You know, I've been hit before by my partner. You know, I never put my hands on her, but she's put her hands on me. But it wasn't in a way of violent intention to strike me. It was more so she's backed into a corner and she's like, get away from me. I don't want to do this. Like, just get away from me. Because she thinks that I'm there to hurt her because I'm telling her how she needs to change. That's what I see many women thinking, that their partners are out to get them and they're the enemy because they're demanding that you change, because the way that they're living, the women, is not godly. That's what I'm expressing. And I'm not talking about Christianity, Catholicism, no specific religion. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about spiritually. Spiritually. You understand what divine is spiritually. So I don't, like, look, if you got rules and doctrine, that's on you. I don't care about any of that. I'm just talking about the divine being within you, which is authentic. Authentic. If you can be authentic, authentically you, if you can just wake up and say, uniquely, I am me, 100%, you are now living in the highest form of vibration at every moment in time, point, in space, and that is the godly in expressing itself through you. But most women don't have that. They have all of these rules. They have all of these things that society programmed them with. What told me, because I made my way back up here 2 years ago, to which I was homeless for pretty much 2.5 to 3 months. And you know, she was back in Arizona. After we went through this whole financial scam thing, I blame myself for it because I was ignorant. I had not enough information, and I did not trust myself and my own intuition at the time to go for something bigger. I went to something small because I was feared into it. I had the fear in my mind already, so the fear from everybody else came into me. And that's what stopped me from going to the honest thing, which is the bigger goal. I went to the smaller goal, and then I got played. You know, literally for like 2.5 years, I'm thinking I'm getting $10 million to go to build a wellness center in Ojai, California. And I'm getting transactions coming in my bank accounts, my business bank accounts all the time. And people are basically laundering money. They're using me as a mover of money. I didn't know. I was so ignorant to what I was doing, had no idea. And then I'm the one that says, well, it's my ship, so get everybody away. I'm gonna go down with the ship. So essentially it was me. I took the fall for it. I had to pay it back, all these things I had to go do, but that's okay. You know, I have to learn. I have to learn that I have a big project. And God told me to go for 200 million. And I decided, no, I can't do that. That's out of my league or whatever I was thinking at the time, so that's my fault, which also it caused a rift only because of the distrust that I had for myself at the time, and I can't lead because I couldn't lead myself. I had to take full responsibility for all that, my family, my friends, everything that I put in. But at this moment, where now I'm back, I'm 100%. I expressed to Dre, I think we should clean you up from the inside out. Now, I don't know what's gonna come out, but something has to come out because you got to change. So we basically started her detoxification program in 2022, and I didn't know anything about what she basically been through in terms chemically, surgically. She had things removed, she had a lot of things just done medically that you would think were supposed to be for fixing purposes, but they don't fix anything, because I believe that modern medicine is not for fixing anything. I believe it's just for maintenance, and that's why you have a subscription to a prescription drug. And so basically you subscribe your freedom away to a prescription drug. Essentially that was her for years. So we started her detoxification program in 2022. And I hadn't actually had a formula with cell salt inside of it yet until the following year. But all of her nutritional deficiencies were getting patched up. And so everything's starting to get patched up. And she's starting to also be able to hydrate herself now, because stress is dehydration. Essentially, every function of symptom of disease, autoimmune of any kind, stems from cellular dehydration, in my opinion. You can look up whatever research said you want. It all starts with dehydration of some kind in the cellular process, in the cellular functioning process. The cells need water to function. They don't have water. If they're not hydrated properly, then you can't function as a human being. And she had so many issues and problems with her gut. So helping her to heal her gut transformed her, but it brought out all of the issues and the problems and the traumas and things that I did not understand what this person was going through. So who is this person? I don't know. I have no idea. But I have to hold this image that I have this harmonious relationship, and all I do when I meditate, all I can see is me holding somebody's hand, walking along, into my place of business or into my office, or on the phone. I hear a voice. I don't know whose voice, but I hear a voice. I'm holding a hand. Maybe it's her, maybe it's not. I don't know, but I just know that I have to continue holding that destiny, which is the end, and go through the destination. Now let's talk about the destination, which is the challenge of detoxification and why it can save your relationship, because essentially it saves mine. So I'm talking about all these struggles and challenges that we've gone through, leaving, not really any breakups of any kind. You can call a divorce a breakup, but we were together whenever we got divorced. I actually said, let's go, I'll take the paperwork, I'll go get it signed, I'll do all these things, and I'll do it. I'll finalize everything. And I did it. I got up and I went through and I said, here, sign this and send it back, we're gonna do everything. I did it. So she can have peace of mind. And I welcomed it. I said, I don't mind at all. It's perfectly fine. But I never left the person. Consciously, I was still there. I just said, okay, I'm not committed, because you're obviously not committed. So I'm still here, like in the spirit and energetically, but we're obviously not gonna be together, because that's not what you want. She just did not make a commitment. She could not say that this is the person. So because she can't say that this is the person, it's almost like I'm attempting to say it, but they're just saying no. Now, all you gotta do as a man into a situation, because most divorces are initiated by women, and that's just because hormonal imbalance, in my opinion. Most women are on birth controls or something that's putting their hormones out of whack or out of alignment, and they see a person differently when they change them. So once you get healthy or get clean, the person that you saw, that you attracted at that time, is not the same person that you are this time now. You've changed. So you're not going to be in resonance with the person, because clearly you have it's a different you, it's a different vessel. That's come to be expected. What you got to look at is, you have to say, is it worth going through this challenge to grow with this person, or do I have to, distance myself? And I think men are seeing, like they're almost afraid of commitment at this moment in time, because you don't know which woman you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get the sunny woman, the happy, vibrant, or the mean and upset and angry, right? And because you give away half of your energy to them, that can destroy something for you. It can take away from opportunity. The reason why I went for $10 million, said $200 million, is because I basically went to ask my wife, is this okay? I think this is a really good idea, but she's like, no, I don't believe in, okay. So I was feared because I didn't listen to God within me. I was thinking I have to make my wife happy. That's the happy wife, happy life thing. You'll have a miserable life if you try to make your wife happy. Man, don't do that. You need to make yourself happy, and then because you're happy, you can gift everybody what you've created, and then they will become happy. So again, essentially what happened in this regard is detoxifying changed the person. So all of a sudden this anger, this rage comes out. She's yelling in the mirror at herself, calling herself all types of negative things, negative names. And I just have to go on this journey of showing her how to navigate her own emotional place. You don't get rid of your emotions. You can't. It's energy and motion. If you don't have any energy, then to move, you'd be dead, because you're energy. Everything's energy, and it has to move. All you have to do is understand how to move it. You have to understand what to do with it, how to create with it. But you can't get rid of it. You can't get rid of emotion. Just navigate your way through the emotions. Just sit with them. See what they're expressing towards you, correspond with it, see what your feedback, what you're drawing in, and then you can start to go back and flip it with alignment. But if you don't do that, you're never actually going to figure out whom you really are. So this whole process that I've gone through, and I've helped multiple people, many people. I've helped many people restore their health, their happiness, achieve harmony. The hardest, most challenging person that I've had to deal with has just been Drea, because I care about this person. I want them to succeed in life, not for my benefit. It's not for my benefit. It's really for her benefit, to heal her generational, wounds and traumas. She sent me a video clip of the Kardashians the other day, where I believe it's Kris Jenner, the mother, the momager they call her, and she's talking with one of her daughters, who's expressed, I think it was the Kourtney Kardashian, talking about the traumas and the toxic things and getting over things, and how Kris Jenner, the mom, is deflecting it and changing the topic of conversation. And they're saying she always does this, she's always deflecting things. But then some minutes go by and Kourtney Kardashian, she's reading a message from her mother, talking about there's always one child in the family that heals the generational, the curses or traumas in that family. And I was just so happy to see that. I know that family's going through their issues and health struggles and things too, but I was just so happy to see that, because what if I was appointed as a person to help this person heal the generational traumas? I just thought about that. I thought about that multiple times when I meditate constantly. What if I'm the person that's appointed to help this person get over their generational traumas? Because I've already basically gone through the process. I'm 7 years older than Dre. But what if I know how to navigate my way, and I can help her to do it, and then the lineage that she has can now change and now can heal. What if I was assigned something like that in my day and age, and it just had to come through my own relationship? Can I overcome that? Can I forgive that? Can I, overcome those challenges and still be a person that's there, that's loyal, that's loving, that's unconditionally loving? What does that actually mean, unconditionally loving to somebody? When you unconditionally loving, when you're unconditionally loving to someone or something, you don't have any conditions. So you don't have any, you have to do this in order for me to do this. You don't have any of that. It doesn't exist for you. Because if you're seeing this person without any limitations or without any conditions, you're going to do whatever you need to do because that's how, the divine does it for you. That's how the spark does it for you. And you don't change that. So I've come to the realization that, yes, 100%. I mean, I've been in her family's home and they don't have any pictures of me. They never had a picture of me in their family's home. And it upset me to a certain extent. It upset me because my mom is very adamant about, give me a picture of the dog, give me a picture of Drea, give me a picture of y'all together, give me a picture of everybody. I'm putting it on my desk at my classroom. I'm putting it on when you walk into the foyer in the house. We're everywhere. But in her home, there was just nothing. I've been to the home. It's like a white wall. And it's actually kind of where it's eye-opening. These people don't respect you. That's okay. That's all right. Because you respect you. So all I have to do is continue to love myself. There's no condition that says they have to respect me in order for me to love myself or you. But I started to just take away and pull out every condition that I thought I was creating and say, leave them all under somewhere. And let me see if I can truly go through this process of enlightenment through myself. Does that mean I have to be weak? No, it does not mean I have to be weak and vulnerable. Or it does not mean I have to be strong and unvulnerable. It means I can be loving and be vulnerable. Because in order for you to actually be loving, you have to be vulnerable. You have to allow yourself to commit no matter what, and you have got to be vulnerable. So I told myself, and I tell myself every day, just keep the commitment. Keep it, because this person is worth it. So she's been cleansed. She's been, as far as her energy wise, she's going through the process. I remember 2021, Jay cut all her hair off, and I actually did the cutting. She asked me to do it. There's multiple times where she's attempted to shed this old person and now go back to a new person. And I've just told myself, she probably never had one person that believed in her skill set and what she can bring and her value. She didn't really have it from her family, but she perceived that she never had it. I don't think it said that she never had it. They said she didn't perceive that she had it. She was not aware that she may have had it. I think that she did have it, but I think everybody has it. You're just not perceiving that you have it. You're thinking that you have to qualify for it. You're thinking that energetically you have to do something in terms of, I have to do this in order to receive the love, but you don't have to do that. That's not how it works. If you can just change yourself to become more loving towards yourself, everyone changes in response to how you change and see yourself. So if you see a situation that's difficult, all you gotta do is change the person's seeing, and now it becomes wonderful, if you can do that. So, lo and behold, I've gone through the cleansing process myself first. I was the first person to go through it, because I made it. So, I had to basically heal myself of everything that was causing me harm, struggle, and I just grew a different level of self-love for myself. And I started to see that people are on their own journey, but sometimes they need to have boundaries set. Just you need to have, it's not tough love. It's just have a backbone of some kind. Don't get walked over. Don't get pushed around. You don't have to do that. Because if you get pushed around, then you always expect to be pushed around. You need to stand up for yourself, to yourself. And that's mainly it. So she's done the inner work. She still has inner work to do. Everyone has inner work to do because you're always living. As long as you're here, then you have inner work to do. So that's why you always have to constantly go back and be still and know that you are the creator. Because you always have a different experience. You always have things happen to you. Your heart beating, it's gonna be like this. And once you do like this flat line right here, that means that you're dead. So you have to have ebbs and flows. You have to have highs and you have to have lows. You have to have highs and lows, because you must come down in order to come up. You have to come down. But this can be like this, where you're still going up towards growth, all right? But every now and then, you gotta come back down there, and you gotta go back up, and you gotta come back down, but you're still going towards growth. See, you may have started here at this is your chart, right here X, and right here Y. But just because your line is going like this, does not mean that your Y is not going up like that. You're still going up. So what Dre has done many times over now, she comes and she apologizes if she's, got an explosive reaction of bad energy. She comes to me to say, I apologize, that's my fault. I didn't handle my emotions well, or I didn't do it the right way, and my attitude was wrong. Prior, I didn't get any of that. I just got, basically, you ain't shit, F you, you don't have nothing, you're nothing. You're not good enough for me, that sort of thing. I got plenty of that. There's danger in that. If women, the way that you speak to your significant other, there's danger in this, because everything is held together by water. There's water all around you, there's water inside of you, inside of the other person. Water holds the memory. So if you're gonna speak to somebody condescending, belittling, intentionally hurting them because you're hurt on the inside, it's gonna stay with them. If they're not smart enough to forgive, if they're not smart enough or aware enough to let that go somewhere, so that now they can be the person that you desire them to be towards you, which is a loving, caring, kind person. You're not even showing that, but they can still show it to you. You just can't receive it because you aren't showing it to yourself first and foremost. You're not doing it. So if you can't be a person that understands what you say is going to create within somebody else, you're speaking death into somebody else, not life. There's two levels of interference in terms of entanglement. There's constructive interference, where you're constructing, you build somebody up, and there's destructive interference, where you tear somebody down. You're taking blocks away from their building. This is their building, this is their temple. You're pulling energy away from their temple. If you don't understand and take accountability for what you're putting out into the world, into their world, then they have every right to get up and walk out. I just happen to be smarter about this. I happen to be a person in a position consciously to be aware that this is not it. They're not doing this intentionally just because they're evil. No, this person's loving. It's like the story of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but it's basically chemical imbalances, hormonal imbalances. So all the women are Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll is this kind, doctor, and he's just, and then you got Mr. Hyde. It's crazy. Every comic book has it. There's a Spider-Man character Stan Lee created called the Lizard. He was a professor, but he had lost his arm in an accident. He was attempting to get his arm back, so he basically made this formula, and he took this formula. He would turn into this lizard creature, and he would just start tearing everything up, tearing stuff up. And Spider-Man literally had to go up in there and like knock him out. He had to go up there and knock him out, but that's his professor. How crazy is that? And so it's like you're looking at it. They make these connections all the time. Comic books do it, stories do it, ancient mythologies, they do it, stories. It's all metaphorically. It's basically saying what's happening to you, acidic and alkaline. Dre was so acidic that she couldn't even understand detoxifying was going to put that acidity back into her body. So now she's going to have these expressions coming through her mind. constantly because it's cleaning her out. You may just be walking through the day, start crying. You don't even know why. Like, what am I crying for? That's why. You're living your past all over again. You're living the things that you don't want to pick up because you swept them under the rug. So too many women, I believe, do that. And too many men enable them to do that. And I believe if you really have unconditional love to somebody, you'll realize that you're the person that can change. You're the person that has to change. It's not want to change. Stop saying I want to change in my relationship. Start saying I want to change in my relationship. And you will be the person that says I am changing my relationship. Once you get to the point where you say I am changing my relationship, then you've won. Now you're going towards commitment and towards growth, and both of y'all can achieve something together. But if you don't make that commitment, ain't gonna happen. So the moral of all this story, I'm just telling you guys a personal story about myself and my family, is because I've seen challenges, I've felt them, I've had to experience them, to the point where I thought it was the end. Oh, I'm divorced. We're living inside our car for like a year and a half. We were living in out of hotels, inside of our car. We were doing all types of things. And finally, we just said, enough is enough. We're going to act accordingly. And really, it wasn't necessarily me. It was more so her saying, I believe this is it. I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to change how I see him. I never changed how I saw her. She's worth the effort and the energy because of what she can do on this screen of space. How many people's lives she can positively affect, and I saw it beforehand. Her family probably didn't see it. Mother and father probably didn't see it. That's okay. If you have one person that can see your success before you can see it, just one other person. You don't need a whole team. Just make one other person. You'll be more than all right. So, men, women, both of you, if you're a spouse, significant other, if you just focus on making your significant other, your spouse's life easier, you'll never be without a person. It's not about you, it's just about you being able to grow and gift them and help them. And that's what I feel like I've done, that's what I feel like I'm doing, that's what I feel like I'm doing for everyone. But it took accountability on my end. It took accountability for me to stop enabling this person to be defeated by themselves. Show her a different lifestyle, a different way. I gave her meditation. I gave her nature, essentially. I gave her, scripture and teaching and spirituality. And, not only she changed our diet, but I've given her the way of looking at the right processes in life. And I'm just so grateful that I've done that because I feel like the destiny that I envisioned in my mind, even though it doesn't have a person's face in it at the end, and I'm not gonna be happy or sad or whether it's whatever way, I just accept whatever way the Creator gives it to me. But I actually believe that I'm living the destiny through the destination of life that I'm going through right now, and I'm living in the end right now. And so the person that I'm with right now is a person that I'm with forever in this time. It just had to be some changes made so that this person can fit me in resonance and be in harmony with me. I think many of you have a person inside of your life that is your person, but you're sitting there and you're thinking, breaking up is way easier than going through growth and challenges and overcoming growth and challenges with this person. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be nice to them. I don't want to be kind to them. They don't deserve it. But let me tell you something. They more than deserve it. They more than deserve it. Everyone deserves it because this is heaven on earth right now. And if you're giving out that low vibration, if you're giving out that low frequency, if you're stuck on limitation, mediocrity, if you're stuck on sadness and whatever it is that you're stuck on hurting, you're only gonna get back what you're putting out. So maybe if you change the person that's seeing your relationship, you'll have a wonderful relationship, harmonious relationship. But you have to change the person seeing and create the harmony within you. Luckily, that's the goal that we have at this Alkalign Lifestyle. This is the goal that I created this entire thing with. I'm tired of seeing, celebrity divorces, J-Lo, the Ben Afflecks and all that. It's so sad. Like, I keep seeing people quit. Stop quitting. Stop quitting. I believe it's worth it. Stop quitting. I'm not specifically the Ben Affleck and J-Lo or the Kanye or whatever. It's not about what people want to see. It's about what you want to feel. It's about what you want to feel. Forget the people. The people don't drive your relationship. It's about what you want to feel. And the people who can overcome, what they say, infidelity and stuff like that. When I was first dating Andrea, I was not 100% fully faithful. Like my first year, after she attempted suicide, I got to go out. I wasn't even really with her at this moment in time. So energetically, but after that, I was like, well, let me see if I can just commit to this person, 100%, and just stay locked in with this person. But you don't own anybody. So nobody cheats on anybody. Don't think of it like that. In terms of magnetism and resonance and harmony, you have the right. Don't think that you are in prison, because you're not. But you do have to find some discipline to say, Monday to Sunday, I'm going to find a way to love this person regardless if whatever's going, if it's going my way or not going my way. Once I decided to commit to that, knowing that it didn't matter the pitfalls I had to go through, then that was great. So I'm just stating that. But if you need some help, looking for some one-on-one guidance, some coaching, I offer a Become More Alkalign Challenge at the end of every month, last week of every month. This is going to be last week of August 2024 if you guys are interested. Click the link and sign up. It's basically going to tell you how to solve your hormonal deficiencies, how you're going to solve your mineral deficiencies, how you're going to solve your energy deficiencies, teach you how to eat right, teach you how to ground yourself properly, teach you how to train your body right, teach you how to be, and live a wonderful lifestyle so that you can attract the love and the harmony from yourself. If you're suffering from autoimmune disease, I have a self-energy love, a self-loving detox program. And also, if you're a VIP person, you want to keep it confidential, a person that travels a lot, A-list, whatever you are, celebrity, pro athlete, whatever you are. If you want a VIP experience, we also offer a generational health program. But other than that, all I'm here to say is make it worth it. You can go to the real counselor from within. Close your eyes and go within to the real counselor. And it's going to tell you to do the right thing. If the person loves you and if you love the person, just do the right thing. I guarantee you, it'll turn out right. All right? All right.